I believe everyone, no matter who they are, can succeed with social media. Everybody should have a no matter who they are. Social media gives us access to the world. We're able to get eyeballs on what we want with the right strategies.
Now you're in a position where you can buy whatever you want. You have a full financial freedom. You can do whatever you want in the life. You have this success. Even if your social media accounts, something happened to them, you can still make living just from your investments.
And like I said, we should never fear. Why should we fear that we're going to lose the money? Why should we think like that? So even if you have everything, you only get to go a certain point without personal development.
How you look at that is that basically you just look at yourself that you are trying to do something good and to help to the world and to share your knowledge. Doesn't even matter what these people are thinking about you. Hey Isabella, how are you today?
Hey, great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Isabella, who are you? What do you do and why people should listen to you?
My name is Isabella Kotsias, also known as Baddie in Business, and I am an entrepreneur and YouTube with over 15 million followers across all platforms and multiple e-commerce stores.
15 million?
Yes.
Wow. How did you get to this whole e-commerce and social media idea? How your journey started?
I first started making money online when I was 16 years old. Literally just from my room, all I had was access to a computer. $0, obviously. I was 16. I didn't have money. And from then on, I just got really obsessed with learning different social media sites and trying to master them and making money from them. So here we are 10 years later. And I would say I've been pretty successful at actually accomplishing that when I think back to where I first started.
But why social media? I mean, why did you decide that that's the thing that you really want to do? And why not, I don't know, to just do e-commerce website, Google Ads or something like that?
Yeah, so social media gives us access to the world. We're able to get eyeballs on what we want to get eyeballs on with the right strategies. And I realized that as soon as I started actually spending time on social media, and I realized I could get free traffic to that e-commerce store. So that was when I initially started to see the power of funneling through social media.
When you started social media, it was like social media for yourself, like for personal brand, or it was just for the e-commerce website?
I had multiple faceless accounts, and then I had one with my face, but I would like to actually talk in third person on the other accounts to kind of, pretend like, like you're sharing something like with so many other people. And then I would use those Twitter accounts to like repost. And obviously it's called X now, but back then it was Twitter. So I always referred to it as Twitter. But, I would just like use those accounts to just like repost and grow from those.
If we move forward to today, what do you do right now on social media? How many followers you have? How many accounts you have? Like, can you share more about that?
Yeah, so I have over 15 million followers across all my accounts. I have them all spread out. So I have different Facebook pages, Instagram accounts, YouTube channels. Just on YouTube, I have over 2 million combined, all my channels. So I tried to take over every single social media platform and learn it and master it and then optimize it for each one. 15
million followers. That's crazy. What's your biggest channel?
Our biggest project that we've done is the most viral, and it's for our dog. We've been featured on Good Morning America and other news outlets, and we enjoy like really just making people smile with that account. That was my first success when I restarted my entrepreneurship journey in 2020.
Wow. So you have a dog that is actually became an influencer.
Yep. And I started that account completely faceless as well.
Crazy. What about yourself? Like you have your own accounts too, right? What do you do there?
Yeah. So I started my personal brand accounts 2 years after I started making money with my other accounts that I have. I just honestly wanted to share my story. And a lot of people were already asking me like, hey, do you have a course or something? But I didn't want to just be like some other course seller. I didn't want to just sell a course. Like I wanted to actually share my story and knowledge with the world because I felt like I had been through so much. I had so much to share. And I wanted as many people to actually hear that story and to get that knowledge, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what budget they have. I just wanted them to realize that it's possible for them, no matter who they are.
So you tried to inspire basically the world by your own story on your own personal account. That's how you started with that?
Exactly, yeah. So I kind of just wanted to use my personal brand as a way to just reach as many people as possible to share my story and knowledge. And that's why I just put it all on YouTube 100% free.
When you started your journey, is it something that came from home? Like, do you have anyone from the business world, from your family or entrepreneurs or something like that?
No. So actually watching my parents work paycheck to paycheck my entire life growing up honestly made me be the way that I am, where I always just like wanted to be financially secure. And when I first started, like my only goal was just to make like a couple of thousand a month. Like my goal was never to be a millionaire. I didn't even think I would make millions and even be where I am today. When I first started, it was really just about trying to just make extra money on the side and just trying to financially secure myself in some way. And that was my only goal.
So all what you wanted was to just have a stable income from social media, and eventually you became a millionaire just from social networks, right?
So I always say I'm a millionaire today because the power of social media. And it's not just the social media, because I know people that have millions of followers and they don't make as much money as me because they also don't put the business mindset behind it. So it's so important to have the business side of things and the business mindset to collide also with the knowledge of social media and the funneling, because a lot of people, they either will have one or the other. Anybody can start an online store today, literally anyone. Even with the power of AI, you know how easy it is to just start an online store. But the problem is that people don't want to master the skill of actually growing with social media. And that is literally the key of like, if you can learn that one skill, because I didn't know it, like just like how I didn't know business, I also didn't know about social media. I literally just every day showed up for myself and learned how to do it. And, it just takes a lot of just like practice, trying different things, seeing what's going to work. And then you just honestly just went from there.
Do you think it's for everyone? Like everyone should start a personal brand, or everyone can succeed with that?
I believe everyone, no matter who they are, can succeed with social media, whether it's faceless, whether they are have a personal brand. And I think that everybody should have a personal brand, no matter who they are. Because nowadays, even when you go out to a restaurant, I'm not even checking Google reviews. I'm checking their Instagram to see how well they care about their restaurant. So even if you're a restaurant or you're a person, your digital footprint is so important. And every single person, especially in like the entrepreneurship world, or, if you're trying to do something even on the side, like you should be either making money from social media or at least have an established social media profile.
We talked about your family. Let's go back to that a bit. You said that they were living from paycheck to paycheck, and then it gave you the idea of, okay, I want to make money online from social media. Do you feel that this thing that you came from this type of family and situation actually pushed you to succeed?
Yes, but I would say that it definitely delayed my success at the same time. Because after I started making money when I was 16, my parents did not approve of it. They were like, what are you doing? Like, is this even legal? This is not sustainable. This is not going to like do anything for you other than just make you some maybe quick money. So because I was living with my parents at the time, obviously I let that mindset, because I didn't know anybody else that was making money from it. I just kind of let that maybe discourage me a little bit. So even though I was making money, I didn't see it as a way that I could actually could be life-changing. So it was just always something like, oh yeah, I do that. But I'm in school for dental assisting. That was because it wasn't just my parents, like my entire environment. Like I grew up in a small city that there weren't really any entrepreneurs. And, everybody was always like, oh, well, what are you going to college for? And I'm like, well, I don't even really want to go to college, even though I wound up still going. So I think actually by being in that environment, it actually delayed my success a little bit maybe, but at the same time, everything worked out. It's all for a reason. So I always believe that. It's like, I'm so thankful to be where I am. So if that's the challenges that I had to go through to not get to where I am, I'm fine with that too.
So you were already making money from like online
10 years ago.
And you still went to college.
I did.
Just because you wanted to convince your family that what you're doing is okay, and like you still have the stable degree.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So I worked as a dental assistant for actually 7 years and was always doing my e-commerce stores and social media on the side. So I think that's the other thing is that people are always like, well, how do you have time? I always made time for it. Like I literally would be all day working as a dental assistant. I'd come home and be working on it. So like, that's why I always say there's no excuses. And I was still working and going to school when I restarted my entrepreneurship journey in 2020. So there's literally no excuses. Like it doesn't matter what situation you're in, you can always restart or be where you are and be working towards what you want to build, even if you're trying to stay comfortable, which is what I was doing.
But what gave you all this motivation to keep working even at the same time when you study and you know that, okay, you will finish that, you will have your stable job, right? Mm-hmm. So what made you still so motivated to do that by yourself?
Yeah, I think I always felt called for something bigger And that grace is something out of me. Even as well, like I was working and everything, I still felt like it was something that I just like was so driven to do. Like I just like was almost like obsessed with it. So I almost like got obsessed with just like wanting to like continue to like grow accounts, start businesses, do side hustles. And I just never wanted to ever like be in the situation where like I didn't have money. Like that was always a fear for me. So I was like, okay, how can I combat that fear? And that's how I felt like I was able to turn it into something better with that.
How your family approach today to what you're doing? Do they understand what you're actually doing? Do they accept that? What's their approach to that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like now they totally accept and understand what I do. They're so supportive of me and I'm very thankful for that. So we're really close. They completely support me now. But in the beginning, it was very difficult for them to really understand. But then the whole other thing of what I was also saying is like, I always felt like too, I needed to make more from the job than I did. And I was more making like an equal amount. So I didn't feel like secure enough to stop. But that's why like during 2020, when like, you know, everything was kind of like the lockdown happened, then I stopped working because all the dental offices were closed and my school was closed. And that was when I was able to really like take the time 100% to really build and focus on what I was doing. And the other thing too is like, I just kept trying until I kind of found my way in as well, because there was, you know, I feel like all the times that I failed, I tried and failed, I tried and failed, I tried and failed. It all is like working and it came out like eventually it went through and like it worked, you know, what I was doing. Because social media is always changing. So like I was always trying to like, you know, make it big or like get to that next level that I wanted to be at. And I think that happened just because of the fact that I just kept trying to do it.
Do you feel secure today?
Yes. Yeah. I feel very secure today. Even if I stopped doing it, I would say my investments would probably carry me through the rest of my life. And I knew that I could never use my dental hygienist license or actually do what I was in school for when I realized that I literally make what I would have made in 1 year working as a dental hygienist, I literally make in 1 month now. Double that. So there's just no reason for me to, that's why I'm literally positioning myself, investing as much as I can so I can really set myself up for life.
What makes you stand up? Like, what makes you stand out and be so different? Why you think that you are so successful on social media while others are trying and then just stopping or you don't have this success?
I think that people want instant results and it just doesn't work that way. And I think that you have to have something that drives you. Like people start accounts and like they don't even like what they're talking about. And it's like, why would you even start that? Same with online stores. Like people will start an online store of like a niche that they know nothing about. Like, sorry to all the guys that like are in like the beauty niche. I'm like, why? Like, you know, you could pick something that's actually more masculine and like actually do better at it because you actually believe in it. It's something that you can carry through long term with. So that's probably like why I feel like most people fail is they don't have the passion. They don't have that drive to actually keep going with what they're doing.
How do you find this passion? Like what made you to understand, okay, that's what I really like to do?
Yeah, I mean, that goes to a certain degree because every day you're going to feel like you're not going to want to do stuff. So I mean, passionately, I feel like carries you through so much. But I feel like at the end of the day, like I genuinely do enjoy social media. Like I actually enjoy learning about it and like testing things, creating different videos, seeing what's working, seeing what's not working. So, but I learned to like it. And the other thing is like, a lot of people are like, well, you're just so good at it. Like, no, I literally just like learned from scratch. Like it's just a skill like anything else in life.
Okay. So how your day looks like since you wake up energized and okay, now I want to do social media or you need to balance it. Okay, can you describe your day?
Yeah. So I usually wake up and like, even to this point now, like I make millions from social media. I still do so much myself because again, I actually enjoy doing it. So I'll wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is I'll post a video and like, I don't get out of bed until it's posted. So like, I try to really like make sure, okay, like I cannot start my day until this is done. So I just prioritize that. And I actually like put that before like a lot of other things in my life. Like I won't even eat because I'm trying to get stuff done, which like I guess isn't the most healthy thing, but that's something that like I have realized where, you know, I just put the priority so much on what I need to do every day to just keep showing up for myself every single day.
So even with 15 million followers over your different social media accounts, you still publish videos by yourself?
Yes.
And do you have any team that helps you to produce these videos?
So now I do have a small team. In the beginning, I never did. And we actually met up last year and you were like, what? Like I told you, I'm like, I don't have a team. And you were like, what? Are you kidding me? What do you mean you don't have a team? Like there's people, that have huge teams and aren't even close to like millions and millions of followers. So yeah, I think it's me and my family doing it mostly. But any other like big employees or actually full-time employees, I don't have.
Wow, that's insane. So you have millions of views every month and everything just by yourself. Even I remember we talked about it, that even the thumbnails, the editing, you done everything.
I did. Now I try to do, so talking about YouTube, now I do my, I have a girl that does thumbnails for me, but I still am crazy and I'll have her change them like 50 times and I'll still be doing thumbnails on my own sometimes too.
How do you feel about being so public on the social media?
Honestly, so when I first started, like when I restarted my entrepreneurship journey in 2020, I, of course, wasn't like showing my life 100%. I didn't really start showing my life until I started my personal brand, which I love to show. There's some things that I keep private. Like a lot of people think like they see everything and they really don't. I actually keep a lot of stuff private because I like to actually just enjoy it for myself, not because I'm scared or anything, but I just like to enjoy it for myself. And the things that I do put out, I just try to always make sure I'm putting things out with a purpose. So I always have this mindset. Is this going to entertain people? Is this going to inspire people? What purpose is this video or piece of content that I'm putting out serving for someone else? And I try to really convey like my own feelings and emotions through the content as well. So it can just continue to inspire others just by sharing like my story and like where I came from and like these kinds of things.
Does it bring with it any hate?
Yeah, of course. Like I always like to joke around because my dog's account literally even gets hate. And it's like, if you're going to hate on a dog, like imagine how like miserable you are, like hating on a dog. It's like, of course, like I get tons of hate too. Guys always comment like on it's mostly actually guys that hate, which is really weird. But, yeah, I get hate comments all the time, but I actually encourage hate comments because the hate comments actually bring me more views, more likes, more engagement. So if anything, the hate actually I welcome and I make fun with like.
So you look at the hate comments as something good at helping to your business?
Yes, 100%. The hate comments come through with increasing my engagement.
Wow. Was it hard in the beginning?
I would say the only time it was hard for me when people, and this is a weird thing, it was only hard for me when people were attacking my small business. When I had my small business, I actually took that more personally than I took my personal brand. And maybe it's because that was something that when I restarted in 2020, that was something that I first started doing. It was my dog's account, my small business. And like, I took everything maybe more personally back then, but then I just kind of got used to it. And then now I strictly see it as something that's just helping me grow.
And you don't take it personally at all?
No, we laugh about it.
Wow. Do you read the comments?
I do. I read every single comment and I try to respond to every single comment myself. I don't have bots. I don't have employees talking for me. I try to literally respond to every single comment because again, like I just love it. And I want to say this. I genuinely believe that I do this because when I started at 16 years old, I felt like the world was kind of against me. Like at that time, I cut off all my friends. I didn't have friends. I didn't have anyone. I just had my laptop and social media. So it was something that it was like overnight, I was like, you know what? I think I can like make something out of this. And I think that I just started to care more about like the internet world than even like people in real life. So I think that's like where the initial spark came from of just like really like diving into social media. Cause I'm like, wow, I'm able to reach the world here. I'm getting out of this like toxic environment that I'm in. And I'm actually just spending time on like social media where strangers are more supportive than friends. And I don't know if you like realize this, but like strangers are always going to support your content more than friends ever do or family. And that's okay. And I don't take it personally, but that's something that like beginners especially should really always remember.
Yeah, just part of the game, right? Like all these comments are helping you to succeed in this game and just becoming a better person, a better entrepreneur. You said that you are researching content and you're always trying to improve and check what other people need and to produce content for their needs. How do you disconnect? Like the social media is always there and it's in your phone. What do you do to stop working? Or is there a thing like that to stop working, or you just always think about the business and how to improve?
Yeah. So I would say I am very like, I'm always thinking about what I'm doing as far as how can I make what I'm doing better? How can I make what I'm doing more purposeful? Like I try to always show up for myself every single day and I try to better myself every single day and just try to just like, I'm big on self-improvement and like every day trying to find how I can learn something new, even if it's not related to business. I love to study the Bible. I try to study it every single day before I go to sleep. Because it's something that it's literally just bigger than anything else that I do like in this world. So that's something that really just gets me out of the thinking about business, thinking about this stuff. And that's like literally all I do outside of work is just trying to better myself in other ways.
So studying the Bible takes you to this place where you can relax a bit and focus on something different than the business.
Yeah, because I mean, I kind of see everything as like temporary and like that's eternal. So I just love that. Like I love to kind of put my focus there, place some of my time there every day. And it's drastically changed my life so much.
Do you believe in evil eye?
So it's funny because a lot of people are afraid to post on social media because they're scared of this whole thing with like, people cast the evil eye on you, you'll be cursed and all this stuff. And it's like, look, like no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Like I do not fear anything. Like I try to, anytime I get fear-based thoughts of anything in my life, I try to know that it's like not coming from a good place. So I genuinely try to make the effort to avoid it at all costs. So like if I ever feel fearful to post something that maybe could inspire somebody, why should I fear that? It's not coming from a good place. So it's like, I genuinely believe, I don't believe in it. I feel like if you believe in the evil eye, then it's real. If you don't believe in it, you're stronger than that there's something protecting you, then you're fine. And that's kind of how why I share everything that I share, because I'm not afraid. I don't fear anything.
You started in a place where you grew up with a family that we were living from a paycheck to paycheck. And now you're in a position where you can buy whatever you want. You have a full financial freedom. You can do whatever you want in the life. You have this success. You even said that even if your social media accounts, something happened to them, you can still make living just from your investments. How do you approach money now, and how do you feel with all this right now? Because for me, for example, I came from a similar situation, but it was very hard for me to understand that it's okay to start spending money. It's okay that I succeed, because we come from our home with this perspective that we don't have money or that it may disappear or stuff like that. Do you have a similar feeling or experience?
Yeah. So something that I've learned recently is that, and this is something that I've realized probably within the last 2 to 3 years after like I started like really just thinking outside of just our normal life, and like I said, we should never fear. Why should we fear that we're going to lose the money? Who's making us think like that? Like, why should we think like that? And the other thing is, if everything went away, guess what? We still have our health. We still are opening our eyes. We're getting up every day and we have our health. So we can literally make it back. We still have our mindset. We still have everything. We have the things that people cannot take from us. So that's the way and direction that I love to think in. And that's what has really changed my mindset, because even when I was making tens of thousands of dollars monthly, I was still so afraid that I was just going to lose everything. And I wasn't even happy then at that point. It's like, why do you even make money? Especially if you feel like it's like never going to be enough. So, and this is, I think, a way that I also grew up, because my parents did work paycheck to paycheck. They always also were in fear. So even, they were afraid, like, okay, what if something happens? What if my dad gets sick? What if this happens? And it's like, we can't live our lives like that. Like imagine like 50 years from now, we look back in our life and we think, we were worried our entire life about something so stupid. Whereas we could be spending that time just being grateful for what we do have. And no matter what, as long as we have our health, we have everything.
So you believe that because you improved as a person, as an entrepreneur, even if the world takes everything from you, you can still just reproduce everything from scratch.
Yes, because I've learned, and this is something that like when I grew up like with no beliefs, I was just fearful all the time, versus now having a very strong belief and like my faith literally like guiding my life, I don't fear anything. And if anything does happen, I know that I'm fine and that someone has my back. It's like something that is just that in itself is literally life-changing. So yeah, I don't really fear that anymore.
And what do you think? What comes first, like the personal development or the brand that you created? Like what took the other thing to the next level?
So you mean the small business or like my personal brand? Or
so you started a business and you didn't know anything about businesses.
Yes.
And then you started your personal brand and you didn't know how to grow a personal brand, but you succeed with them. Why? Is it because you improved as entrepreneur, like your mindset improved, or just the business took you and made you to understand what's the next step and to improve there?
Yeah, I think the obsession of just wanting in the competitiveness, I think definitely helped get me to a certain point. But one thing that I have learned about myself and what I've learned about other entrepreneurs that also make a lot of money is that you only get to go a certain point without personal development or faith or whatever you want to call it. Like you only get to go so far. So even if you have everything, you still are not going to be able to get past a certain point if you don't have that key aspect, in my opinion, like from my story. Because even like 2-3 years ago, I literally, like I said, I was making money online, but I felt like I hit rock bottom because I started getting too obsessive and I started saying, I want to make $200K a month. And guess what I started doing was I started making bad investments and I started losing money because of that mindset. And I could have lost everything. Imagine if I just spiraled downhill. So that's when I realized that I had to get my emotions in check. I got to get myself in check because I'm obviously not strong enough to continue this wealth for the rest of my life if I'm acting like this. So that's when I started to actually search outside of, and try to really figure out how I'm going to live the rest of my life.
Why? Why would you want to make even more than what you're making right now?
So now I'm completely fine because I feel very sober-minded by just like the way that I believe and like the way that I live my life now. But back then I felt like I was not living that way because I wasn't really I didn't like have any sort of belief at all. And my emotions were just taking control of me. So either you have to take control of your emotions with what you believe and your faith, or you could lose everything just by not focusing on that, I feel like.
Would you describe yourself as a competitive person?
Yes, I would say that I am competitive. I get inspired by others' success. So I don't know if it's competition and I like get jealous. I actually get so excited when I see other people with like millions of followers. Like you can even ask my family, they even see me, they're like, chill. Because I literally like, even like if one of your videos go viral, I'm like, look at Lior's video. Like it just went viral. Like I actually genuinely love seeing people succeed. And I think because I love seeing people succeed, it actually helps me in a way that I'm like, I want to also do that. How did they do that? I don't like sit there and be like, oh my gosh, like, look at this, like be jealous. No, like I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, let me try to replicate this and do the same thing.
So it's not coming from a place of like why they succeed and how I can do that too. It comes from a place of if they did it, how can I reproduce that? How can I succeed too? And like it gives you basically like positive motivation.
Exactly. Because like, I think a lot of people have limiting beliefs. They feel like they can't actually do something that anyone else has achieved. And I can tell you, anybody could be literally doing what I'm doing. I'm no special than anybody else. I literally failed out of high school before I finished at a dropout prevention program. I thought I was dumb. I thought I was stupid. I have felt every single emotion that all these other people have felt. And the reasons of like why they don't succeed a lot of times is just because they don't believe that they can do it. They don't want to spend the time to do it. And they feel like it's out of reach for them when in reality it's not. So if you can take those barriers down, you can achieve anything.
If someone wants to start right now their entrepreneurship journey and they are worried about the reaction of the society and their friends, their family, what would you tell them?
I would say your friends and family are probably going to hate on you or they're going to think it's weird. But guess what? You don't need their support and they don't even have to know what you're doing.
What motivates you today to keep helping people, to keep improving?
I think that every day is just another opportunity to inspire others and just do things for other people. And I feel like this is a great mindset to have, even in your business, is you always have to be thinking like, how can I serve others? Like, what can I do that's going to benefit other people's lives? And we see this even at a smaller scale, like, when people start e-commerce stores, how can my product solve this problem? How can this, how can this solve a problem for somebody? How can this add value to someone's life? So with what we do every single day, we should always have that in mind. How can I add values to others' lives? And that's kind of, I would say, my motivation every day.
Where is the name Bad in Business came from?
So you're probably surprised by this, but there's nothing attached to it. I literally picked my personal brand name, just like I picked a business name. I literally went on the business generator website and I just typed in different keywords. And I'd also like to kind of redefine the whole baddie thing, because I feel like baddie sometimes is like a weird, like girls that maybe they're not doing good things. So I was like, why not just redefine that name? And I like the BIB, like it just sounds nice and it's eye-catching. So I kind of started my personal brand in kind of a position of a business as well.
Right now, you're the number one woman creator in the dropshipping domain. What's next? Like, how do you, I believe that it always was, okay, I want to reach out to this point, or at least that was for me always, okay, I want to be number one. But now you're there. What do you do next?
So at this point, I do want to start a family within the next few years. So I'm now trying to develop businesses that are actually not as dependent on me. Just things that are going to be outside of what I'm doing now. So I am in process of developing some new businesses. I don't always talk about things until they're done. But that will be out hopefully this year.
Wow. Do you feel it's the same, like building a personal brand and building e-commerce brand or a tech brand or whatever?
I feel like oddly enough, it's very similar. It's just a different purpose and vision that you're fulfilling. So I feel like it's all the same process. You have to pick a business name. You have to think about like what your brand colors are going to be, like the fun stuff. And then of course, like the more complex stuff, like, okay, what problem is this solving? Like, how is this really going to help people? But I have the same feeling every time. So I have the same feeling now by starting a bigger business than I did when I started my small business back in 2020. It's the same feeling for me.
So each business that you start, even now, you still feel that this same excitement as in the beginning?
Yes.
Wow.
I think I just really love creating. So maybe it's like an art form.
So what motivates you is also the process. It's not only like the success or to share your knowledge, it's the actual process of creating something new.
Yeah, I would say yes. Like, I feel like it's in a way an art form. Actually, a lot of people in my family on my mom's side, we're all like artists, very artistic, whether it's like music or art, like painting, different things. So maybe I took after them, except I have this random business mindset to put with it. A lot of artists, they're so talented and there's so many talented people, but they don't have the business mindset. So I love with my YouTube channel to connect those two things, to connect their talent and what like, you know, maybe that is a calling in their life and connect it in a business stance so they can actually make money from it and do that all their life.
So business is just another way of art, of creating something new to the world. That's interesting. To me, also, I had this thought with myself where I also came to my coach with that. And I told him, listen, I'm waking up 3 a.m. I'm starting to think about new business ideas or new things that we want to develop in our company. And how should I stop with that? And he's like, no, you shouldn't.
It's a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah.
To have a big calling on your life.
Would you say that like creating businesses, it's like a game, or like this whole journey that you do with entrepreneurship? How you look at that? Like, to me, I always look at that as just a game. You just go to new places, meet new people, improve your own character and stuff like that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's so funny because your side of business is so much about like meeting different people. And like my side is just I'm such an introvert. In reality, people think I'm this big extrovert. I'm actually a very much introvert. And that's why like most introverts are usually the best at social media because of that. But I would say, I feel like as an entrepreneur in general, we just have to keep pivoting. And I feel like pivoting is just an essential part. As an entrepreneur, just finding different ways and routes to like where are we going next is always kind of what we're thinking in our mindset. So that's what I would say if that answers your question.
You start with the idea of like the end goal when you start the business? Like, I want to get from here to this point, or how you look at that? Or you just see only the next step of the creation?
I don't actually think too long term as far as, of course, you know what, I can't say that. Like, cause I do think like even when I'm creating this new business, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to be awarded something for this. So I am thinking like long term, like some kind of fantasizing about how big it could be, like which I think we all would do. But I would say I just try to make it as valuable as possible. And I always think marketing first. So I always think, how am I going to market this way before anything else? A lot of times people will think, okay, business, product, website, all these things, and then marketing. I say marketing, then everything else. So I start marketing first.
100%, I agree with that. But if you don't really look like for the very long term, and we talked about it that you already have the money that you need and you're satisfied with that, how you wake up in the morning and get this motivation still, like just because of the idea of I want to bring more value to people, or there is something else that driving you there? Is it that this feeling of I want to create, I want to fulfill my ideas to other people? What drives you?
Yeah, I feel like we're on this earth for such a short time. And I feel like we should just try to fulfill like whatever it is God's purpose for our life every day. And if that's just spending the day, like just focusing on our family and just like staying and focusing on that, like then so be it. But that's actually like how the direction that I've lived my life for the past year is just like trying to wake up and trying to figure out like, okay, like what is the purpose of what I'm working towards and like why? And I would say that's a big part of like why I'm also successful is because I think of that. Like I ask myself that question, like, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of this? Is it to be more free? And that's why like I've structured all my businesses also in the way that I have is so I do have the time freedom. Because again, like the money doesn't matter if you don't have time to even enjoy it at all. You know, like you're just like working from the morning to night. Like I don't want to be like that. And that's also why like I feel like is what motivates me as well. And I'm also just trying as a woman, you know, like I want to be a mom, and I feel like as I'm 27 now, so I may not have a little bit of time, but like I feel like I want to just grind it out now. Like, I don't know if men have this feeling, but like, I feel like as women, I want to just grind it out now. So like when I can be a mom, I can just spend all the time with my kids and like raising them to then be like little CEOs as well.
And then the investments will just keep going and growing.
Exactly. Right? But even if I say that, but I still think I probably will want to be obviously still doing it because it's like, I don't think my passion's just going to fly out the window when I have kids.
Yeah. I don't believe that you can just stop one day. And
Yeah, I don't think it's just going to go away, but this is what's motivating me like right now at this moment is these thoughts. Like I'm just being very transparent. Like, these are my thoughts as of right now in my life. Haven't really talked about this on my YouTube channel or anywhere else, but this is like what I've been thinking about as of recently.
So it's always just changing by different times, by different periods in your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is there anything that people should not do in social media or businesses that you would not use social media for, or in general, something that you wouldn't do?
Yeah. So something that's very normalized in the United States is OnlyFans. And one thing that I always say is not all money is good money, period. It doesn't matter if you're making millions. They might still be feeling empty. And I can 99% sure that they are. It doesn't matter how big their house is, how big their car is, because I know that for myself. I do something extremely fulfilling with my life. I love what I do. I'm able to create fun videos, do what I love doing, and then be able to have my personal brand and inspire the world to do it too. I have every single accomplished achievement. I'm building my $2 million dream house right now. I have my dream car, my G-Wagon. I have everything that I want. And I can literally just tell you up front right now, OnlyFans is literally going to ruin your life. And that's why I tried to just speak out about it so women know, like, not all money is good money. And it's going to be very difficult, even if they don't see it now. Just if I can prevent other girls from doing it. There's so many other ways to make money online. They don't have to do that. And I'm living proof. And I didn't even show my face. So there's literally no excuses. And the other thing about OnlyFans is you literally have to run an OnlyFans like you do a business. So you may as well just start a business that you're proud of, because none of that stuff's going to fulfill you. It doesn't fulfill me either. And that's why it's good to be good with God and like not be doing that stuff, because it will like lead into it statistically. OnlyFans statistically leads into mental health issues and, my personal opinion, spiritual death. It will literally just kill you from the inside.
Also, you're saying that it's possible to create a personal brand even without the OnlyFans.
Of course. Like girls like are so much more talented than they probably think. And, you know, some people are like, well, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing that. And it's like, okay, you enjoy it right now, but like I'm telling you, like not all money is good money. And even if you have millions, even if you make millions, guess what? You're still not going to be fulfilled. Only God does that. So what do you have? There's nothing there. So
the psychological problems will cost much more than the profit of the business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right now you have multiple social media accounts. You have your own, you have the dog, you have your other businesses. Would you say that it always was the same process, like the same beginning, the same plan, the same structure of videos? What would you say about that?
Yes. So that's why I always say that my strategy works no matter what, because I've literally replicated the same strategy for every single business that I own and for every single account that I own. And I've grown it successfully. Now, of course, there has been projects along the way that I tried and failed with. Like my most funny one that I can think of is I actually started a YouTube channel showing Pokemon cards. This was also back in 2020 when I was just trying like a bunch of different stuff. And I literally posted 2 videos of like me like showing my Pokemon cards. Oh. It was like Pokemon cards from my childhood. But then I realized, okay, I probably like can't keep doing this. So I stopped. But like just the fact that I like made the videos, I edited them, I posted them, I tried. You can't find them, so don't try to go look for them, you guys. But just the fact that I tried to just keep trying just different things. It's just for fun. Like if it fails, it fails. So I can't say like, okay, every single thing that I've done is successful. No, I have failed so many times. But that's why I feel like I've learned what does and doesn't work. And then I'm also not afraid to just try again.
How do you handle these failures?
So I actually have one tattoo and it says, never a failure, always a lesson. Because when I was 18 years old, I realized this, and this was like a life-changing thing for me because I felt like a failure in my teen years. Like when I was like, I literally failed out of high school. Like I said, I felt like an absolute idiot failure. Even though I did finish at a dropout prevention program, still felt horrible about myself because like I was the family member in my family that everybody thought was just going to like be doomed. Like I'm just going to end up in like a street somewhere. And like, because I was bad in school, I was doing bad stuff. I just wasn't listening. And I felt like I cut off all my friends. I just felt like it was a really bad environment. Honestly, that was, I think, contributing to it. But I just went down really bad. And I felt like this was that pivoting time when I'm like, okay, like I have to change my mindset because something's not working. Like, what am I going to be miserable for the rest of my life? I've been diagnosed with a depressive disorder when I was younger, depressive disorder, anxiety. I've been going to counselors since I was 8, in and out of counselors, put on medication, all this stuff, which thank you God, I do not take any of that stuff anymore. But like the fact that my whole life, I felt like I'm just a failure. Like I'm just like, like, what am I even going to do with my life? Like, I can't even go to school without puking. Like, how can I even like I literally had like so many problems. And then I just realized, like, am I going to live like this for the rest of my life? Have a label stamped on my forehead that says depressive disorder? I still go to the doctor now and they literally say, how's your depressive disorder? And I literally have to sit there and tell them like, God has healed that. Like I don't have that anymore. It's not and again, it's not because of money, but like, it's just crazy how like just that alone has just like always, and getting back to, sorry, I'm like kind of going off. But getting back to what we were saying, the never a failure, always a lesson thing, I felt like my whole life was a failure, like failing. So I'm like, you know what? I need to just change my mindset. And I saw a quote online one day on Twitter and it said, never a failure, always a lesson. And I started just saying that to myself every day, never a failure, always a lesson. And it got me to where I am now. So.
And now if you post a video or a reel or whatever, and you don't get the amount of views that you expected for, or the amount of engagement that you expected for, it's basically like a mini failure, right?
Exactly.
How do you feel about that? Like you just ignore it and you just understand that it's part of the way? Exactly.
Yeah. So with even like small failures, we do it all day. Like think about it. You beep at somebody, you get pissed because they pulled their car out in front of you, you beep at them, you say, hey, and you realize, I really shouldn't have done that. I really got to work on that. So it's like, I feel like by recognizing the things that we're lacking in our everyday lives, we are able to grow so much as people, not just in real life, but in business as well. So that's something that I feel like if you can really start to think, okay, where am I lacking in my life? Like, what can I be improving with? And like you said, like even just the small ones, like my reel didn't go viral. And for me, my standard is so high. Like I want every single post to go viral. So if it's not getting over 1 million views, I see it like, okay, let's go. I got to get it. Like I got to work harder. So, but that's just a personal thing that I do.
Would you say that money shows basically about the personal development? That if someone has more money means that he had to improve himself more to get to this amount of money? Do you think these things are connected, the personal development and how you succeed or didn't succeed?
I would say yes, but are they happy? How is the money really changing their life? Because money only changes your life so much to a certain point. After a certain point, life is just like, okay, I can get somebody to drive me wherever I need. I can get like whatever like request you want, whatever fantasy, whatever dream car that you want, it's fulfilled. So I like to always say, like, yes, of course, like, by improving your character, by improving who you are, of course, it's going to help your business because, if people are out here sidetracked and going to clubs and doing all that stuff, of course, they're not going to succeed and be on the same level as me because I'm not doing that. I'm not spending my time doing that. So it's also like whatever you're sowing your time into, that's what you're going to get back. If you're sowing your time into improving yourself, you're sowing your time into your businesses, of course, you're going to get that back if you're, of course, doing it with the right mindset and the right strategies and everything like that.
So if you work on yourself, all the rest will just come.
I believe so, yeah. But I always like to think deeper and say like, okay, what's their purpose? Are they happy with, which again, like maybe it's not my business. Like if someone is good or not in that way, it's just something that I've discovered with myself is like, everybody thought like, oh, like she's living her dream life now. Like she's good. She's making like, $50K a month. Like she's fine. But then I was like stressing, like I was miserable. So I'm like, yeah, I got to get like a hold on that before my whole life becomes that way,
Yeah, one of the reasons why I started these conversations and this podcast is really to research and understand like how people that are successful think, what is their mindset? Because to me, I really believe that it all starts here. And if you do the right personal development, all the rest will come from there. The happiness, the money, the family, everything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love your purpose and mission behind the podcast. It's awesome.